Yo guys, we are back again. I got some shoulders for you today. Starting off with something a little bit different. I don't usually do standing barbell presses, but I felt like feeling like a heavy ass, strong ass dude this day. So that's what we did. So this shoulder workout, there's a little bit of everything in there. The past few I've been focusing on like rear delts and different things, but on this one I started off with these presses and man, like these had my shoulders going already, and then we smashed like middle delts, so we were feeling good. A little belly hangage right here, but that's all good. It's all part of the power, you know, all part of the plan. Oh man, so we got a lot to go over today. It's a 19-minute video, you know, as far as the actual gym clips, which is longer than what we usually do, but that's because we were in the gym for, you know, a little while doing this shoulder workout. And you know, switched it up, did a couple different things, but overall had a really good lift. I was actually feeling this in my shoulders, you know, a few days after. So today is, what, Monday? This was on Saturday, and I was still like, I woke up today like, oh, shoulders are still feeling good. So definitely covered all my bases in this workout. So something I wanted to talk about today, just touch on, you know, and we'll definitely go through the workout, is you know, even on your worst days, even on your best days, no matter what, like when you wake up in the morning, man, you got two options. Two options. You can either work to get yourself better or not. And the not part of that means you're getting worse. Because I don't believe that people stay stagnant, you know, day in and day out. I think if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And that's, you know, simple, but not easy. Simple in concept that, okay, I want to get better today, but actually putting that into practice, not always that easy, you know, and therein lies the challenge. So every day you got to ask yourself, you know, am I trying to get better today? And I think that that's a great question in the morning, you know, especially if you're not feeling good, especially if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you know, you slept funny and your back hurts, or you didn't get enough sleep, you know, this or that. No matter what the circumstance is, I mean, you can definitely set it up the next night to, you know, have more optimal sleep, or, you know, be more comfortable when you wake up, things like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, are you going to wait until the next day to wake up feeling good? You know, that's a whole day that can still be dedicated towards making yourself better. So, simple question every morning. Are you getting better or are you getting worse today? You know, and that's really what it boils down to. And, you know, on a day like when I went and I did this shoulder day, I hit shoulders, I went to work, and then I went to go hang out for my buddy's birthday later that night. And I hung out, had a good time. But I made sure to take care of all of my business before I went and did that, and I got better that day. So, you know, if you have a day where you're like, oh, well, I'm going to go, you know, hang out with my friends for a long time, and you know, I don't really, because we're all planning this and it's an occasion, like, I don't really know if I'd consider that getting better or worse that day. You know, if you got to put it in those terms, you're probably not getting better. I mean, I'm fine with everything in moderation. If you want to, you know, take that day to yourself, then that's fine. Just know that the next day you're going to have to put in twice as much work. Because, man, for every set that anybody takes off, no, I'm in there picking up that slack. So I'm catching up. But anyways, getting back into it, there's going to be a lot of clips right now of just lateral raises, man. And I start out light, and then even when I go, I think I go to like the 32 and a half. So I probably could have gone up, but I wanted to keep my volume going. So with the 32 and a half, so I think I was still hitting between 15 and 18 reps. And then I started to do a superset after two, laying on that bench right there and kind of doing it sideways. It's kind of weird angles trying to, you know, capture that for you guys. I still haven't found like a solid way to kind of set up for that, but I know that I really like to hit it and it feels good when I do. Sometimes that's good enough for me. So right here we're still using the 20s, kind of warming into it. So our front delts were already pumped from doing the presses, and then I would have spent a lot of time on these middle delts right here, and we certainly did. I mean, middle delts, I just felt like I was getting nice and kind of rounded out. I mean, I stopped to pose a couple times in here just because I felt like I had a really good pump, man. And like even right there, like when you're just looking at it, Like almost wanted to hit traps this workout too, because from my traps to shoulders, it was like looking pretty solid. I definitely don't do enough shrugs. We'll get those more, accompanied in, because I'm kind of mainly focusing on doing like a few workouts, and trying to have that going. Then, doing more volume instead of like more expanded workouts. Then it's been a little bit different with the mentality, but at the end of the day, we're still working to get better. So whether we're hitting, more volume or more exercises, either way, we're getting better. But I'll definitely start throwing in more shrugs. Sometimes I do shrugs on shoulder day, sometimes I do it on back day. I'm just, wherever I feel like I want to throw it in that week. But, I mean, my traps are already kind of, like, naturally set in there a little bit. So, like, same thing with my calves, Like, I could put some extra work in, but I'd rather focus on, like, some of my more problem areas. But this is kind of a weird angle, but I like it because it shows that, the reason why I'm doing these on this incline is because at the bottom, like, that middle delt is really pulling. And then at the top, I kind of go even back a little bit because, that's where I feel like, if I come up and then back, that's where I feel it pulling in my middle delt the most. If I just pull it straight up, then I feel it more in like my front delt, which isn't bad. That's just not what I'm trying to target here. So we're just trying to trash these middle delts like the whole way through the middle of this, but kind of sped it up. I know it's a long video, and shouts to you if you end up sticking through the whole thing. Thank you. But I did try and trim out as much as I could. It was just a lot of work to be had. So see, even on this arm, I kind of come down and across. I'm not so focused on like where everything's going. I'm feeling out my shoulder, and when I'm at the bottom and I feel the pull where I'm trying to feel the pull, then that's where I try and explode up and then come back with it a little bit. So I'm still getting the feeling of these, but I like throwing them in, especially on this little superset. I thought it was great. If you have the opportunity to do these at your gym, give them a try, man. Like this little superset right here with the lateral raises and then going straight into the like lightweight. I think I was using like a 12.5 pound dumbbell. But it doesn't matter, because when you're doing a superset with already, heavier lateral raises, but two, put yourself in a compromised position where you're trying to feel the burn the whole way through and get this like full range of motion, then you're going to feel that for sure. Alright, apologies. I had to clear up some memory from the memory card. But, yeah, if you haven't tried these out, I mean, just give them a try, because what's the worst that could happen? If you don't like them, you don't like them. But, man, I had such a good pump on my shoulders this whole time. And shoulders, like, used to be one of my favorite days. I used to have, like, when I was in high school and stuff, I used to have a really good military press. When I was 18, I could military press, like, the 110s or 115s and feel, like, solid with it, That teenage strength is something else, man. I feel like gaining muscle now that I'm a little bit older is way harder than gaining muscle when I was, like, in football in high school. I don't know who else feels me on that, but man, I used to just be able to toss weight up and just grow with it, But now I gotta, like, approach this shit scientifically and count my macros and all that. I used to eat like a dog in high school, like smacking a double quarter pounder, 20-piece nugget. If the McRib was in season, forget about it, man. I'm smacking like 3 or 4 of those. And was still staying at a consistent weight. Waking up, going to class, going to football practice, 2-a-days, hell week, all that stuff, man. Just my metabolism was up. So definitely not the same. Now I gotta track everything, and it's different. But my little separation right here between my chest and my shoulder was nice, and then my shoulder and my trap right there in the back end. After hitting more rear delts the past few shoulder workouts, it was just feeling like really nice and rounded, which is what I'm trying to get to. And it's nice because I'm also like continuing to lose body fat percentage, and with that my muscles are able to poke through a little bit more. Because I mean, when you're coming down from a heavier weight and like you know, are dedicated to hitting the gym and you're working on your diet and everything, it like can suck at the beginning part because you don't see any of the fruits of your labor. You know, I've never been like a skinny person trying to get bigger. I hear that's more like physically challenging, and being a bigger person, you know, trying to get smaller is more mentally challenging because you can't really see your progress as well. Like, I can't see the muscles that I'm building, you know. Well, now I can, but before, when you're first starting out, you can't see the muscle that you're trying to build underneath that, like, you know, all the fluff. So it's not easy all the time, but you gotta stick to it, stick to the script. And I've been using that phrase a lot lately. Simple, not easy. Because, you know, if you write it down on paper, go to the gym, lose weight. Yeah, that's it. What, you know, track your diet and calories, be at a caloric deficit, lose weight. Easy on paper. I was feeling nice and rounded right there. But you gotta have that stick-to-itiveness, man. You gotta do this shit for you and no one else. Because if you do this shit for someone else, it's not gonna last. You know, you gotta do this shit for you. You gotta be proud of you. You gotta wake up every day and make that decision, man. I'm gonna get better today. In whatever aspect. You know, it doesn't have to just be for the gym. If you say, hey, I wanna be, you know, more intelligent. I wanna know more things about things. I've done that before. And then you pick up a book and start reading, you know. You don't have to read a whole book in one day. Same thing with the gym, you know. You're not going to get to your goal after one day. But you read a couple pages, couple chapters at a time. Next thing you know, you are reading. You're learning. You're adapting. You know. I've been hearing a lot of, lately about not getting stuck in the planning phase. You know, and that's important too, because getting stuck in that planning phase is just running in place, you know. It's getting used to the idea of running, and it's, you know, saying how far you're gonna go, tracking the distance, buying new running shoes, like, you know, figuring out how your body runs the best, you know, what heart rates are gonna burn more fat as compared to, you know, burning through other sources of energy. Like, you can research running all day long, but until you put your fucking running shoes on and the rubber meets the road, man, like, you're not gonna get any progress done. You know, you might feel like you're getting more progress done, but that's not doing the thing, you know? The only thing that's doing the thing is doing the thing. So, I definitely think that portion is important, you know, planning and having, like, getting it scheduled out and stuff, but not to the point where it's hindering you from actually getting the work done, you know? Because you can feel very productive and have zero productivity doing that. But doing that is also, you know, I'm kind of, the way I manage it is I put together a rough plan. You know, I'll be like, okay, these are the days I want to hit this at the gym. You know, today I'm hitting shoulders, so I want to make sure I get a standing press in, focus on, you know, middle delts, and then get some rear delts in to finish it out. Rough plan, go execute it, and you'll figure it out as you go. You know, feeling like you have to have everything in its perfect place to get started, you're going to be waiting there all day, man. So just get into it and then trust your instincts, trust your adaptivity, you know? Trust your ability to get in there and make shit happen. And you'll figure it out the more you do it. You know, life is all about reps. You got to get those reps in. You got to get those reps in. The more reps you get done, the easier it is to come up with a game plan, you know, down the road. And when you figure out and you tell yourself that you can do hard things, then other shit doesn't seem that hard, you know. If you do, you know, end up picking up that book and then you get to the end of the book and you're like, yo, that was a pretty simple concept and I did it, I feel smarter for doing it, then, you know, it makes other aspects of your life not so hard. If you can master one thing and be disciplined with it and trust yourself that you got that one thing done and prove to yourself like, hey, I did that, it's gonna make everything else feel easier. Like, because you already have that self-confidence, you know, that you've already made that, you know, you've made one tough thing happen, made it look easy. By the end, you're mastering it. So then you have that faith in yourself, like, you know what, I can master the next thing too. So don't put limitations on yourself because you want everything to be perfect. Everything's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. The worst action is inaction. So as long as you do something, you can always do something the wrong way and then redirect and do it the right way. And that's still more progress than not moving at all. And we came over here on these shoulder presses, on the machine presses. And I was like, I'll probably just do these for reps. And then I ended up throwing 3 plates on there, which, for anyone that's stuck around before, I think the most I've done was like 8 reps of 4 plates. Which I'm not like bragging or saying that's good or anything. But in comparison to that, I came over here after this full, like, pretty much shoulder day. And was like, fuck it, we put on 3 1/4. And kept it going. And we only hit like 6 to 8 at 3 1/4. So what do? Drop set, baby. So you know what? That was solid. I'm glad I went up. Let's go ahead and take off that plate in the 25. Let's really finish these things off. Sometimes too, the best thing to do is just to not think about it. Don't sit there and dwell, just like put your shoes on, go to the gym. You know? The longer you like put your shoes on, dilly-dally around, the more time you have to think about it and to think about the things that you aren't gonna like about it. And that's just human nature, you know, that shit will catch up with you and it'll, you know, your mind will tell you like, you know what, I don't need to do that. And so that's the biggest fight, you know, is just getting up and getting out the door. Whatever getting out the door is for you. If it's reading a book, it's, you know, maybe it's setting up a certain spot in your house. And you're like, you know what, when I'm over here, I read. And so it's getting up out of your bed, getting ready for the day, going over to that spot and cracking open that book. You know, once you get there, it's a lot easier to continue with the process. But it's all about showing up, man. You just gotta show up sometimes. Even if you show up at the gym, you have a bad workout, so what? Best workout you'll ever have that day. Because you're not gonna get that day back again, so you got better that day, and that's cool, man. You did that. These right here, we're ending with some rear delts, some face pulls. I really liked doing these face pulls with my shoulders laying back and then I'm pulling it down towards me so that, you know, I don't have this awkward like leaning back type of deal where you have to like balance yourself. I like it because it's more of an isolation when you're laying on your back and then you're pulling it down towards you. But I didn't feel like getting all that set up. We only have like this one pulley in my gym. I mean, we have some upstairs too. There's no benches upstairs so you can pull up next to it. And it's kind of awkward to drag a bench there at my gym personally. So I opted to just do the standing ones, but that's all good. We got our rear delt working. But hey man, we're nearing the end of the video. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you very much. I hope you do something nice for somebody. I hope someone does something nice for you, even if that's yourself, man, because that's cool. We like that around here. But thank you very much for tuning in. I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.